don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mentorship Mondays with Michelle and Maren. Hi, Maren.
Hi, Michelle.
How
Your
are
intro,
you?
I'm great. Your intros always make me so happy.
Oh,
Just
that's
love
good.
it.
That's my idea because
You're my hype
this
girl.
is that's it. That's it because these sessions are valuable. They're valuable to me, they're valuable to you, they're valuable to everybody, and we're going to start this off today by giving Maren a big round of applause because she has accomplished something that we've been talking about for a while, and she got it all done this week, and I am so excited. So, Maren, thank you. Would you like to announce, for those of you who didn't see our posts that pretty much littered all over every social media that we have this week, but what's the good news, Maren?
So the good news is we are now a podcast.
Yay! Yes.
I am so excited, and I have to say it's kind of crazy because we have been talking about it, but like before I hit make us a podcast, I literally did it, and then I was like, Michelle, we're a podcast. And you were like, that's so crazy because it's a new moon and new beginnings. And and then she's like, how did you find it out? I'm like, I don't know, because it was just like meant to be spirit guided for sure to be set up on the new moon, because I have been looking for how do you do this? I don't know. I am also tech illiterate like Michelle. So it's the blind leading the blind over here. And I'll every now and then Google, and it was just honestly the same way I found Channeling Eric. It was just like the next, thing that came up. And I checked it out and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was looking for. And it was just so easy. So I'm so glad we started now, though. The only hard thing was that I literally had to download every single past episode, which took a while. But like the actual creation of the podcast turned out to be pretty simple once I figured it out.
That's awesome. So everybody, give your love and gratitude to Maren because that's all on her. I had absolutely no participation in setting any of that up. So I'm so grateful to you because that is amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
So what I love is we are a video podcast on Spotify. So if you want to still see us, you can check us out on Spotify, which is a free app. But then we are an audio podcast on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. I think I'm missing one.
Apple.
And soon to be Apple.
Soon to be Apple.
Apple takes like a little bit of time to approve your show. So be a little bit for Apple Podcasts. But no, I feel like there was one more.
Spotify, iHeart, Google, Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. That's right. Yes. But I think you have to subscribe to that one. So I don't know.
But there's lots of places. There's something for everybody. There's lots of different places.
Yes. But help us out by, if you have those apps or subscriptions or, just Google Podcasts, you can just Google Podcasts and find us Mentorship Mondays with Michelle and Maren. And it has it's like a little circle logo with the 2 M's. And find us, and like you can follow the show, so it's like kind of like a subscribe on YouTube, follow the show, and then rate us, and that will help us become like a legit show, so other people can find us, and it'll make us so we won't be like at the bottom of the list. It'll help us kind of climb once they're like, oh, they're real people with a real following.
Yay! So. That's awesome. And I'm going to tell you something because I saved this to say this on the podcast, but so when you showed me the M&M, so I'm going to share something with you. there, and I'm going to give a shout out to Edna, who's watching. Edna, I know you're watching, because I'm going to get her to tell her story at some point. She's going to come on and talk to us, and she's an animal communicator. She's awesome. But she had a moment. She got some information from Spirit, and she saw that MM. Okay, she saw it. And Edna's very connected, and she's awesome. And so we were talking on what day was her appointment. It was last week. I can't remember what day, but we were talking about it, and I shared this with her. So I'll share this with you. When I was a kid, I had this necklace, okay? And it was like a little round necklace, and it wasn't very expensive. It was just like one of those, I think you got at the fair or something, but it said MM on it. And I got it because that was my maiden name, Michelle McMullen, but it was in that round, right? Just like that, with the same way. The M's
Hold
are
on.
the same
What
way.
was your maiden name?
McMullen.
My childhood best friend's last name was McMullen.
Shut up!
I
Are
swear.
you serious?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Maren, this is getting weird.
Now we're finding the connections.
Oh my God. Because when I saw that, I was like, wait till I tell Maren. Like I couldn't text it. And I wanted to wait to tell you on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
So like the details that are coming together here are something else. So, and just to like all you guys with us and watching, like we're all connected. So when Edna saw that, and then she tells that to me, and I'm like, oh my God, that piece for me. I'm like, this is just crazy. Like, this is getting good.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're unfolding such an interesting story, and you guys are here to ride along with us. And we are so excited.
That is so amazing too, because like that website, that was like a like kind of a social media graphic art website, and like that fell on my lap as well at the exact same time that the podcast thing fell on my lap. And then I was like, oh, well, we need like a little like, picture, because I can't like screenshot the video, kind of be kind of grainy, and it's more of a panorama than a square, what all the ones have. And I was like looking and looking, and I was like, okay, well, I want it to be black because that's like the intro. And then, I want it to be kind of gold because that's like that line that goes through. Yeah. And so I was looking and I was like, that's the one. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it even has the MM. I was like, this is perfect. There was no other, like I found it, I made it. And I was like, let me just like look and see if there's any other like logo samples. And I was like, no, that's the one. So that's amazing.
That is so great.
Meant to be.
It is meant to be. It is meant to be.
That's just like the flow, isn't it?
Yes.
Like you
yes.
know you're in flow when all the synchronicities.
The synchronicities, that's right. And okay, so speaking of synchronicities, because this is going to lead us into what we're talking about today. So I have had a couple conversations over the weekend about our soul, about spirit, religion, all of those things. And so I asked you, where would we like to go today? Where are we going to travel? What are we going to talk about? And you had said, let's talk about the soul and religion. I'm just like,
so what's so funny is like, I'm like, okay, so I took my 3 deep breaths to connect, and I was like, what should we talk about today? And then I heard soul and religion, and I was like, God, that's like really a big topic. Like, did I hear that right? And so I was kind of played it off. I was like, I don't know. I heard about like soul and religion, and you were like, what? I can't believe it. So I'm excited. I guess that's what we're supposed to be talking about. It's kind of a big topic, so I'm a little nervous. But
but it's good, and it's actually something that's come up, for a lot of people, because a lot of people are, either leaving a religion, or they're starting to not feel like they resonate with the same, say, indoctrines as the religion they were raised in. Some people may have felt that their entire life, but I think, what's that? Sorry, go ahead.
Or the flip side, I've met a lot of people that are very into their religion, but they're very curious about this.
Yes.
They feel kind of like worried, am I betraying my religion? So,
Yes.
yeah.
So let's dive into that. Let's go into that point first. Let's actually talk about, and I'm not sure who we have here that's going to help us out. Feels like my higher self coming through here, because I'm like, who is it? Who's going to come through? And I'm just getting right on the top of my head, and that's my higher self. So let's talk about religion itself and what exactly it is. Well, when we talk about spirituality and we talk about religion, religion is something that was put together by man to put a practice together in connecting with worship, connecting to God. Now, this really is a big topic, and this is really important to say, religion is not wrong. Religion is not bad. And this is something that is like both sides. Like what you were just saying, there's these two sides. I want to keep my religion, and yet I'm going over here and I've got guilt. Or it's the opposite of religion is negative. I don't want to be part of religion. And they're focusing on spirituality. So let's just kind of debunk that to begin with and talk a little bit about Spirit's perspective on religion. Religion is an avenue. It's an avenue to connect. So my example that I'll give is when I was a child, I went to church every Sunday. I went to church every Sunday because that's what my parents told me to do. My parents brought us to church every Sunday because that is what their parents had them do. It was like generational. We go to Sunday school. Now, for me, it was something I did just on Sunday. I might have been involved in some church activities here and there, but it was just a Sunday thing. So I had really no practice of religion at home. There was a belief in God, but there was no, like we might say, grace before a meal, but there wasn't anything else. So my understanding of religion had a bit of fear because I was a little bit afraid of God, but yet I felt this almost connection to something, and I would feel it when I would go in the church, but I felt it other places too. Mm-hmm. So as a child, it was a little bit confusing. I didn't understand it. Now, if we go and kind of talk about the history of religion, and we'll just touch on this really quick, but religion was brought in as a way to, like with politics, there was a sense of control. So in the Middle Ages, bringing through Catholicism, and they were telling people, you must come through us, like you come through the church to speak to God, right? So there was some organization, and there were other purposes to the organization as well. But of course, we know that there's so many different religions and cultures and practices. And what I want to tell you is each religion connects to source. Each religion. Yeah. There is no one religion that we can say, that doesn't have the ability to help lead us to source or to God or to however you want to describe it, because they are all words and structures and labels to be able to connect ourselves to that source. But there's so much goodness in religion. And because you have a religion, this does not mean that you cannot explore your connection with tools, with whether it's a pendulum or cards. And if that's not your thing, that's not your thing. But religion itself, to start out with, it's an institution, it's a structure, just like whether you were born into it or you're drawn to it. And the thing that I keep hearing over and over and again is the judgment that comes from religion comes from the human judgment. It does not come from God's judgment, from source's judgment. There is no judgment. It is not in that way.
So this is what I feel. I feel like at first there was spirituality, right? We all had this essence, and they're finding these like 250,000-year-old ancient like spiritual dwellings that like, align to the stars. And so like we all had this. Oh, and there was I just watched this documentary. There was 250,000-year-old different species, Homeo neroli or something like that. And it's the old, they found it was a cave where they have all these buried bones. It's the old, predates by like 150,000 years, the first known burial that we have. And so they're like, if they're burying their, their dead, then that means that they have a knowing of, an afterlife or some like something happens afterwards. And they placed a tool that you would use to like mark the cave and like draw in the cave. They placed it in, it was a child, they placed it in the child's hand. So it's like, oh, like, this was their favorite. We'll leave it with them. Maybe they need it in the afterlife, kind of a thing that they were getting at. So like at first I feel like there was spirituality, but spirituality is like such a big concept, right? Like you and we're unrolling it every single day we get on, and there's like a new concept and a new concept. And I was even like just learning about just I can't even explain it. It's so complicated, right?
Yeah.
I feel like somebody just went like, you know what? This is what you do. You don't kill.
Yeah.
You don't steal. You know, you need to talk, you need to pray every day, which, it's like, it's true. Like if you want to, we say this, you want to meditate every day. If you want to have a better connection, it's like, I feel like they just listed out these guidelines. Like, I'm tired of answering all these open-ended questions. This is really hard. Let me just give you a basic guideline of what happened.
Yeah.
And like that kind of became like the rules. And then generation after generation is probably like, no, you have to do this or you're bad or you're, and I don't think it started that way. And then there came the times like you where, and I feel like this is within our own government too, right? Like power. It is powerful to have knowledge, and power can be corrupted so easily. And then that's where you get that just the negative undertones of religion, right?
Yes.
And so I feel like it started out, and it is something that was meant to guide us and help us with our spirituality, because I think spirituality is at the core of every single religion. Just knowing source, universal energy, light, love, healing, helping others, like all the light, like every religion has that. And connection and knowing yourself and helping you through the trials and the tribulations of earth school, it's so hard. But yes, at some point this power kind of, because we're human, corrupted, and so now we do have the two camps. But yeah, you're right. It's not wrong, and every religion leads to the same thing. And I feel like there's cultures too, like some religions focused more on this or focused more on that, or like,
That's right.
But they're all,
depending on the area of the world that the religion had begun. And if we think about, we go down to the basics of what divides the world, it comes with the challenges accepting those of other beliefs, and religion plays such a big part into that. And that's, what we are unearthing at this time in our world is, and I just saw something came on my Google feed, and they were talking about religion and saying how religion has dropped. Oh, this was just yesterday, actually. That's so funny. Religion has dropped in attendance from those that they're polling, has dropped 25 to 30% since COVID.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But spirituality and the belief in a higher power has increased. So now these are only on those that were polled, right? Wow. So this isn't on everybody, but what I gleaned from that was that we know that the generation that we call, what is our millennials right now. So our 20-year-olds, about 18 to 25, there is a real, like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, we're forging our own path. There's that very strong, and there's a lot of, like, think about all the jokes between boomers and Gen X and millennials and all those things that go on all over the place. But that is really a generation coming in as they were built to do so, to be part of breaking apart some of these structures, right? So I found that encouraging, because religion won't extinct itself. What's changing is the corruption. The people are changing. So if somebody enjoys that community, enjoys those people, enjoys what a gathering in a religion offers them, if that is what they feel happy and thriving and peaceful, then that's just another avenue to connect. And truthfully, the purpose, like they're saying, is connecting with the higher part of you. Mm-hmm. The other thing too is, let's not, like, spirituality often gets like, okay, spirituality, it's fluffy, it's belief, it's hope, it's all of this. And those of us that have experienced what this energy is, no different. But then we look at, say, somebody who says, well, I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything. Religion is just a bunch of people telling you what to do. You believe in something that is like, prove it to me. Prove that this is real. And the only thing that I would say is, for many of us, understand science. Look at the universe and understand science, understand energy, and then look at the physical body. Study what the mind is and study what consciousness is. Because when you start to explore those concepts, and you start to understand consciousness, and you go, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Some of this stuff over here with consciousness kind of mixes with some of these things with spirituality. Well, what if the two of them are actually connected? And what if it's kind of the same thing, but being explained in different ways? Because science is not talking about the emotion in the heart, but they're talking about electrical impulses, right? Mm-hmm. So if we talk about different languages that we're using, we're really discussing the same thing. And
well, what's so funny is, even in religion, that's the same thing. I feel like that separate. They're all talking about the same thing as well. Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. you know, the I don't know what culture it is. They have all the gods and the Greek people had the gods and goddesses, mm-hmm. and then I just watched that cave one where the goddess of the mountain protected the boys in the cave. Mm-hmm. And they pray. They have all the shrines that, you know, for this goddess and that god and this goddess or whatnot. And it's like, but then the Catholics have the saints. And I had a Catholic roommate, and I lost something. And she's like, oh, pray to St. Anthony. He's the keeper of the lost things. And I prayed to St. Anthony, and I found my thing. Like, you know, so isn't that even kind of the same? Just a different, you know, because they use the term God and goddess, but maybe that is not, you know, it's here, and we have God, and then we have saints, but that's the same. You know what I mean?
Because we're having an experience here on earth that, again, we're going to go back to the same thing, that is the belief system. We're here having an experience. So let's just take all the pieces out of it and zoom out really big and go, okay, so I'm spirit energy, and I'm focusing myself into a physical body, and I'm going to go through these experiences to find my way back to my heart, to find my way back to source. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to keep following this path to whatever way it takes me. That's the zoomed out. So does it matter which way we go? No. But there's so much to be learned, like our souls, and they're saying our souls have been different religions, but in different areas of the world. This is what makes the completeness of us, is all of these different experiences that our soul has had. And it really is a lot of the same ideas, the same languages. The experience that we have on Earth, it is from belief system. So if we look at our belief systems and we think about in the afterlife, so Eric talks about this in his book too, where he says that the experience that we have, and I can confirm this, and many souls have said this, their experience of their transition and the afterlife is based on their belief set on Earth. So if somebody is waiting to meet Jesus, they're going to meet Jesus because that is what they're matched to. But it also, at the same time, these energies, and this is the way they've showed it to me, these energies have different aspects. So they are all there. Everything that you hear about the gods and goddesses and different ascended masters, but they are energies, right? They are, so just as there's, I hope I'm making some sense from explaining some of this, but they show me like if we'll say, well, let's use ascended masters. It's like a ball of energy and there's fractals that come out of it. And so whatever that person's belief system would be dependent on what they would be connecting to. Because there's no one belief system that is correct. The one that is correct is love, is the energy of love. And that's always what I said, the religion I subscribe to is love. That is my religion. Because love is within everything if we allow it to be. If we allow to keep bringing it in, it is within everything, and love is transformational energy in many different aspects. And somehow, without getting off onto the topic of love, but somehow this needs to be said. Somebody needs to hear this right now. But that love is doing hard things sometimes, and love is sometimes doing hard things that other people may not see as love. But love has so many different meanings in our life, and that is the one and only true thing, and that is what source is pure love. And what they're also saying is that's why it's sometimes hard for people whose belief system is in this, is it real? Is it really happening? Is it not real? Is because they might look at love and say, well, how can everything just be love when I'm seeing all this in the world right now? And the other thing too is to the person or to the people that are feeling that they are, say, feeling guilty because of the religion they were raised in or what they are following, and they're not fitting in that, or they don't feel they fit in that same way. Other people might tell you you can't have both, but you can. But you also have to be very centered in yourself to what you believe in. And like anything else, if you enjoy that religion, take what you enjoy from it and leave the rest. Just like a message, take what you get from it and leave the rest. And that goes for anything. You don't have to be one or the other. It's the pressure that comes from the outside and the people that we care about and love that maybe don't understand, that causes a lot of the complication. And that's why being centered and understanding where your belief system is and what's right for you, not what's right for the masses. What's right for you has to be understood first.
Well, you have to take the judgment away, the judgment of the religion away if you want to belong, and you have to take the judgment of yourself within the religion away, because there is just love, as you said, and there's no breaking of rules, or it's not like that over there. Like, you're good. You can explore other
Yeah.
things, and you'll
Yes.
be fine. I think that's where, like, oh, you don't have knowledge, we have knowledge. It's kind of that whole thing. So don't
Yeah.
put that judgment on yourself. I was just actually just listening to something about the law of manifestation, and it is all about that judgment. Like, you manifest negativity into your life, and if you judge it, then it kind of, you think those thoughts like, why did that have to be? Oh, I must be, whatever, not a good worker, not hard,
Mm-hmm.
or stupid, or whatever. And you put those judgments on yourself, and then it kind of sticks to you more, right? But if you don't judge it, why did it come to me? Learn the lesson, and then it goes away. So like, this
Yes.
judgment thing is like a big deal. So don't judge the religion, because then you become the judger. Don't judge, and you'll attract those lessons to you through that religion,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then don't judge yourself. Like, you are a whole loving being, and you can have confidence in yourself that I'm okay in this religion. I am this religion, but I can explore other things, because that's my right as a human being. We have free choice.
That's
So
right.
I think that's really important.
And
It's,
you're not disappointing God, disappointing
right.
source. You are a fractal of God. We are all made up of that energy. We are part of that, and we can't disappoint by experiencing. It's the judgment and the disappointment that we create on ourselves from human judgment, from the ego judgment, all of that part. That is not truth of what we are. Now, I'm just hearing a question, and this may be a question that people may have. What about the people that, you look at, this person follows this religion and they do everything that they're supposed to do. They do everything that they're supposed to do, and yet this still happened. Or like, why do these things happen? And so,
Or even in spirituality, I do everything in spirituality, right? And this still happens. Yeah.
yes, yes. And so, you know, it's that punishment too, like that,
Yeah.
because a lot of us have gone through that. When I said when I was a child had that little bit of fear, there was this fear in the back of me, like I was going to make God angry. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing something wrong, and that actually kept me away from going further for quite a while, because even though I knew that wasn't right, like it didn't feel right, but in my mind I was like, well, what if it is right? And what if I am being judged? And what if I am a bad person? And what if I'm not? Like all of those kind of questions. So it is really important to understand that, religion is here for your benefit if that is your path and that is what's right for you. There are no hard and fast rules. You are not a bad person if you decide that your religion is not for you anymore. There is no judgment going to be cast upon you. There truly is nothing but love for you. It's how you are in the world. It's how you react and what you put out into the world. Not only in front of people, but behind closed doors. What do you think about other people? What you just said about judgment, right? What about the person that we say, well, they're judging me, and then we find that we're judging them for judging us
Mm-hmm.
with people. So the way they're saying it is the complexity often comes from the human mind.
Mm-hmm.
The pain, the judgment comes from these many experiences. And yes, religion has been a carrier of fear, but the fear was sped up of stories being told that were to help people, like you said, do the right thing, be law abiding. Do you know all that's where it all started? So Oh, I guess that's all they're gonna say. Do you have anything else you want to say? I'm like, and so, and I'm like waiting for something else to come out. Nope, that's it. We're good.
Well, I think it's really interesting. I had kind of like a doubting experience just this week. I was listening to someone channel like an ascended master, and like really great information was coming up. And I just had this like split second thought, like, this is too easy. Like there's ascended masters channeling all over the world, right? You could like go on YouTube and get 100 ascended master recordings of channelings of like just all this amazing wisdom. And I was just like, this seems too easy. You're giving me the answers to life right now. Like, is this really God? Is this what God wanted? Like, are we breaking some law, right, by having all these like cheat codes, kind of, you know what I mean? Like they make life seem so easy. Like, oh, I just follow these universal laws and then I manifest whatever I want. And this is so amazing. And like, I didn't have to struggle to figure this out. You're just going to tell me this. There's got to be a cheat here. Like, is this against God's law, And then I thought about it and I was like, no, like this is Earth school. And constantly when we go to regular school, we have people interceding and saying, no, this is the way you want to do it. This is how you should do it. And it's still hard, even when you have that. So
yes, like, excellent. That's excellent. Yes.
Yeah. And God is just so loving and he's trying to guide us and show us the way. And so, yes, it's okay to like hear these messages and receive these messages. And it's not, like a universal breakage of some God law that we have to be
not at all
from the spiritual world. Like,
that's
I feel like that's kind of maybe was my biggest thing getting into spirituality, like from religion standpoint, like, like I don't want to, I feel like you guys should be in your world. I should be in my world. And like, I don't know, is that like a cheat code if we connect? Like, are you allowed to do that? And, but then if you think of yourself, no, you are a spiritual being and you're all connected. Like when I receive messages, all I have to do is take 3 breaths and stop thinking about my day and messages flow. Right.
Yes.
And like, that's what they were even saying. They said, if you want to hear from the universe, all you have to do, ask a question and then go play. Because when you play, your vibrations, raise, right? So like I go for a run or, you do yoga and then I just can meditate and my vibrations raise, but go play and the answer will come to you because you're always connected to source. So whether you're getting it from you or from Michelle or I, or from a channeled ascended master person, it's all okay. We're able to receive those messages.
That's
and
right.
To me, that helps me release some of the guilt of this because again, I was raised in religion and I felt like there should be their world, our world. So.
Right. And that is such a good point in sharing that. And I didn't have that experience. Like I didn't have that complexity of religion. Now I've bumped elbows with people in my life that do, and they're not crazy about what I do, but I'm okay with that. And that's the whole point. Like,
don't judge yourself. Yeah.
No, I'm okay with what I do. And we have to practice being okay with what we're doing. And how do we know that what we're doing is okay? Well, we go to the why. Why am I doing this?
Oh my God. You just made it go full circle. My husband is giving a speech today. They're at a meeting, a conference, and he's giving a whole speech about the why. And I had to watch this whole YouTube presentation about your why, and your why is so important. So.
And it is.
Well, yeah. Well, Michelle, this was a wonderful conversation.
It was a great one.
So much.
Well, thank you. And thank you for making our podcast go across the universe in so many different forms. We are now universally connected. Well, we were on YouTube anyway, but now we're even more universally connected.
Yeah. So, if like personally for me, when I watch YouTube, I sometimes I don't like that I have to be on the screen for some reason. So I like podcasts better. So now you get to choose which way you want to watch our show. And,
Yeah.
but please try to download the show, follow the show, rate the show so that other people can find us. And they know we're a real show.
Yes.
So, and thank
Yes.
you so much for all of your support along the way. It's been wonderful.
Awesome.
It's
It
been
really
such a
is.
pleasure.
We love it. We love all of you. And Maren, I love you. You are amazing. And I guess
I
we
love
will
you, Michelle.
also
Eminem, I
feel
love
good. Eminem. That's so awesome.
it.
All right. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. And we will
Thanks.
see you again soon. Bye.